What's going on, everybody? All right, today we're going to be checking out my 160 meter sky loop antenna, make sure everything's working right after that last lightning hit that I took a couple Saturdays ago. And I've been checking out I checked out my ground plane way up there, my beam. Everything seems to be working fine with it. So today we're going to check out the 160 meter sky loop antenna, get everything going on it, make sure everything's working right. But it's crazy, it did not take a hit. I can't believe it, because that antenna is 535 feet of wire strung up all through these trees. So it goes from the top of my beam. You can't see the antenna because it's so damn camouflaged. It's black wire. It goes all the way up there from a 4-to-1 BALUN on top of my tower, comes through here, all the way down my back of my property, swings through here, all the way through there, and shoots all the way back up the property, all the way back up through the trees in the front of the property, and then back into the 4-to-1 BALUN. So that's where that goes. And also, too, I just happened to look out the window during that storm, and one of these, I saw lightning hit one of these two trees. So that's within 30 feet of my wire antenna. So definitely lucked out there, but it didn't do anything to the tree whatsoever. I've seen videos of some trees that get completely blown apart. Other things I've seen, it might knock a few leaves off the tree. Pretty crazy. But all right, let's go up to the shack. I have a brand new interface box that I got in. We're gonna get that hooked up, and then we're gonna get on the air and do a quick test. Put a little bit of power in here. It's our little Meritron AL80B. All right, let's head up to the shack. Okay, here we are inside of my shack here. As you can see, the Nolan 7000 DLE Mark II is receiving. Datus is up and rolling, and that's into the 160 meter sky loop antenna. But just because it's receiving fine doesn't mean you can get power put through it. So that's what we're obviously going to do today. Okay, so that's up and rolling. Now, here's my new Focusrite Scarlett Solo interface box. I have it unboxed. It comes with its own cheap little USB cable. It comes with, what is that? I believe that's USB-A to USB-C on the other end. But I'm not going to use that. I use my own high-quality, high-speed USB cable. So we're going to hook that up. But there she is, hot off the press. Okay, we're going to put, we're going to slide it right in there. You can see that cable is ready to go. I could have used a USB-C to USB-C, but there's a USB-C cable on front of my computer, but I don't like cable sticking out of my computer in the front. So yeah, USB-C to USB-A to the high-speed ports in the back of my computer. So give me a second here. I will get this in place, and we're going to fire up my audio processing, and hopefully my audio processing will recognize the new interface box. All right, I'll be back. All right, so far so good. I have the new box hooked up. You can see the USB connection light is illuminated. I have my microphone plugged in. And I know you can't see it now. In a minute here, I'm going to dim these lights. But anyhow, normally what I do, I start talking into the microphone, and then when that starts to flash green around a ring around the level control, that's when I know to stop, just so it flickers just a little bit. And I do have my 48 volt light, or 48 volt phantom power activated, just because when I swapped out microphones, the only thing I did, I used to use this microphone here. This is my RE320. And it required me to use the cloud lifter because the level out on these mics is notoriously very low. So the cloud lifter, it's a very high quality preamp, but I probably don't need it with my Dynacaster SE microphone. It does have 48 volt capability on it, but I just barely swapped them out. So I have to have that 48 volt on the Scarlett activated to power the cloud lifter. Just FYI. So let me dim these lights real quick, and then we'll open up the audio processing and see what's going on here. Give me a second here. All right, here we are, jacked into the computer. It seems like it's clipping a little bit, but I'll go through and make slight adjustments. But first thing first, I'm going to edit. Hang on here. My gate spun too tight. I'm going to lower this. Just a pinch. Okay. Go into my edit, preferences. And there it is. It showed up. Let's clicked on it. Everything's working good. And then driver settings. I have everything across the board set for 48,000. So this new box came with it set at 4140. Hold on here. I'm going to go down the bottom of the corner here. Right click on sound settings. We're going to scroll down to here, microphone. Click on that. Okay, right here, it was default set at 44,100. So right now it's set for 48,000, just to have everything match. And then I think that's all I did. Yep, it's working. Test 1 2 3. That's all working fine. 1 2. Okay, let's go into Thetis. Right now I'm into a dummy load. Let's do a 10 kc real quick record and playback. Okay, this is the Dynacaster SE microphone going into a dummy load, 10 kc, verifying that the new new Focusrite Scarlett box is indeed working, along with the audio processing. Okay, let's play that back. Okay, this is the Dynacaster SE microphone going into a dummy load, 10 kc, verifying that the new new Focusrite Scarlett box is indeed working, along with the audio processing. All right. Okay, the one last thing to do is let's get this into the antenna. We'll get my Meritron all tuned up and get it into the antenna with a little bit of power. All right, I'll be back. All right, let's get this tuned up to get on into the antenna. Me personally, I write my numbers down on a piece of paper. The rough numbers. I know like a lot of guys like to put stickers and everything on their equipment. Me personally, I like to do that. I'd rather just jot it down on a piece of paper and have it handy. So what I do here, I have it roughed in. Right now I have my Rig Expert ready to go. So right now I'm going to hit the input tune. Bring this down. Load. I'm going to hit the output. There. All right, I'm going to hit that roller inductor. See if that's right there. I know this is good enough. Bit input again. Yeah, close enough. All right, I'm splitting hairs here, guys. I get overboard with this. And then hit the output tune right about there. All right, that's good enough. All right. All right, now, give me a second here. Let's get the Meritron tuned up. I'm going to show you what I do to do the Pulse two-tone stealth method of tuning on air. All right, give me a second here. All right, let's get the Meritron all tuned up here. We're almost done here. As you can see, the band is 160 meter position. And these are my rough numbers that I've written down on a piece of paper. I said it before, I don't like to have stickers on anything. I just have the piece of paper sitting right next to me. All right, so we're going to be using the pulsed stealth two-tone method of tuning up. Pulse tuning is very easy going on amplifiers. All right, in the stealth mode, it uses, for the two dissimilar tones, I think it's 70 cycles and 190 cycles. So it's very... You can hear it in there a little bit. You can hear it pulsing, but it's not like the high frequency ear splitting. So it's a little bit more courteous to other people on the band if you're tuning up there. In fact, up there on my ICOM 7300 and receive on 1850, and you're going to hear how subtle it is when I'm tuning up here. So hold on, let me dim the lights. I'm going to start off with my drive slider turned way down, and then we'll start tuning this up and increasing drive power. So let me dim the lights here. All right, we're back. Okay, on 1850. And we're going to start with the drive power way down. Okay, and once again, we're going to be on here. I'll show you this right now. Setup right there. There it is. Frequency 170, frequency number 2, 190, and it is on stealth. Now I'll show you guys the difference, how it sounds on the ICOM 7300 receiving. Okay. And of course on pulse two-tone. You can even set the parameters there too as well. The software is awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to hit the two-tone. You can hear it in my ICOM. Let's go over here. I'm going to hit the plate. Okay, I'm going to hit the load. Okay, we're maxed out there. I'm going to unkey. Okay, let that rest. And while it's resting, oh, I forgot to show the output power on my LP100A. Let's take this up to 20. Okay, give that a second here. Also, too, I'll show you my pure signal. It's going to change on drive power, but once it's all settled in, I'll show you what the pure signal is doing. All right, drive on 21. Let's do this again. Two-tone. Go over here. You can hit the plate. Pretty good there. Load. Okay, we're going to stop. Okay, I'm going to let that rest. While that's resting, And by the way, I checked the bands. It's 160 meters during the day, and it is dead. Let's go up all the way here. Let's go up to 39. That's about all the way. I baby my equipment. So I like to have it last a long, long time. Okay, that's resting. Okay, let's go ahead and do the last two-tone. See my pure signal adjusting. That's spot on. Let's go over to here. I'm going to hit the plate. There we go, maxed out. Okay, I'm going to stop. All right, so without that stealth mode, I'm going to let you hear how that would sound if you're using the default 700 audio tone and the 1900. I'll just key up real quick and you can hear that through the ICOM. Here we go. Here's how it would sound on air. Okay, if I go back into stealth, it changes it at this, those frequencies, audio frequencies. Here we go. Here's the difference. I don't know. To me, it's a little less subtle. You know, it's a little bit more courteous to other guys on the air. But yeah, I use that for both. Of course, setting my pure signal and, of course, tuning up my my Meritron. Let's bump that up just a hair. 41. Got one last test here. Here we go. Two-tone, stealth. Just a little bit more. There we go. Maxed out there. And there you go. That's the most I run. Okay, let's go ahead and unkey. All right, let's I'm gonna pause this. I'll be back. I am going to make sure the band is clear. Obviously it is. Just want to be courteous. And then all right, we'll get some talk time into the antenna. Give me a minute here. All right, we're live on the air. I just keyed up, made sure the frequency is not in use. And all right, let's key up here. That's gonna be hard to do with one hand. I'm gonna try to zoom over to my LP100A. Let me try to do that first. Hold it on here. That's what we're doing here. I don't know it's gonna work. It's gonna flash because of the frame rate or the sampling rate of the camera. Okay, the frequency is not in use. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Audio test 1, 2, 3. The tube's warming up. You can see that go up. That's about LP100A shows 643 watts. And right now I'm gonna hold on while I'm doing the air here. Anybody out there listening? I'm just doing an on-air test. Just checking my antenna system after a lightning strike, and all seems to be pretty good. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Currently transmitting 5 kilohertz wide, low 50 and high 5,000, and yeah, everything seems to be working pretty good there. Okay, let's check out my drive power. Sorry, trying to do this one hand here for power. And one more test here on 160 meters. Current drive power is flashes 4. I saw it flash 48 watts. And currently, yeah, standing by, or yeah, hanging in there right now, 629, 630 watts. I'm splitting hairs on the LP100A, but all seems to be pretty good. 5 kilohertz test transmit. Let's try to zoom in here on reflect on my Meritron. There we go. 1, 2, 3. You can see that the reflect meter is not even budging, and neither is the reflect meter on my on the Palstar ET5K. So it all seems to be pretty good there. All back up on there. All right, I think I'm good to go. I'm ready to get back on the air on 160. But all right, let me finish this up with one last check. Make sure pure signal is working. One last test, make sure pure signal is working. It is engaging pretty good. Audio test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Live on air test. Live on air test. Stand by. I will do a sign off with my call sign. Stand by. All right, let me sign off here to say my call sign one more time, and then I'll finish this up. I'll be back. So there was the full test. I'm back up on the air, and thank God I'm relatively unscathed up here after that little lightning episode. I watched that last clip, and I think I misspoke once about this frequency right there. I think I called that 170. But no, frequency 170 and frequency number 2, 190 on the Pulse two-tone stealth. But there it was. All right, hopefully be back on the air a little bit more often, and I'll catch you guys later. KP68. I'm free and clear.